We are here at Pennsylvania Distilling in Malvern, Pennsylvania. I'm here with Rich Buoni and Joe Amoroso. Welcome to Fermented Adventure, the podcast. Rich and Joe, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
How are you, Rich?
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to have you. So take us back to the moment that this whole distillery was conceived, when you had the idea for the distillery.
Well, it was around November of
2015
that I decided that I wanted to do something. And a friend of mine and I got together for lunch. We had both kind of retired at the same time. And we came with a short list. And the short part of the story is, at the end of the day, we picked the distillery. So it's something that, at least for me, is kind of in my blood. And I mean that literally. And also it's, it fits in well with, my DNA, how I was educated, what my training is, and it kind of brought together all the things, at least for me, in a small company that I wanted to do.
So how did you pick, you said there was a short list of things, how did you pick distillation? How did you pick doing distilled
Well, I have
spirits?
tons of distillation experience because I am a chemical engineer, and I spent significant time working with very large multinational corporations, mostly in operations, but in a variety of different functions. When I was in big oil, I worked for the Mobil Oil for quite a few years. I had responsibility over those years for various assets, including distillation columns, which tend to be simpler than the rest of the assets, but nevertheless, I kind of cut my teeth in that area. From the fermentation sciences standpoint, it's more, I had experience that was kind of more organic. I brewed my first batch of beer in 1980 at home, and a lot of the guys that get into this business, that's their entree into this business. So I enjoyed making beer on and off for a number of years. As I got a little older, it got away from me, but there was a time when I came very close to opening a brew pub in media in 1994. I had gotten my MBA finished in 94. I was thinking about doing something at that point. We were very close, but we didn't do it. And it always kind of hung back there in the back of my head. It would have been interesting to do something like that. And it's not a far stretch to imagine, the kind of the similarities between that kind of a business and the business we're in now.
Right, absolutely. And then, Joe, where do you come in on this story?
Well, Rich needed an additional partner or two along the way, and we talked, and that's how I got involved. It was something that basically he wanted to do, and I wanted to drink. So we kind of formed a little relationship or a marriage that way, but it's working out just fine.
And I appreciate that, because I like to drink and the craft spirits and what you produce. So that's a benefit for me as well.
And you've been here several times,
Yes.
so you know what it's like.
Yes, I do. So now, what's it been running, starting up a distillery? Talk about that process from where you had all the, the equipment delivered, and take us through that process for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was I think you'll find out from a lot of the folks that go into this business, unless they're backed by significant money, which some are, that you kind of have to take the highs and the lows. And some of the things took a little longer than we had anticipated, or probably more than we had wished. It took us a while to find this location because we really wanted to be local, and we wanted to be either in Chester County or Delaware County. So it's not that easy to find the right footprint of a place, a site, for this kind of a business, for a number of different reasons, whether it's zoning reasons or
neighborhood
finding
reasons,
the right neighborhood, or finding the right political landscape, or finding the right physical footprint, and especially the vertical part of it. It's vastly different than a brewery in terms of the assets, and it's much more complex than a brewery. So you have to kind of find the space that works, and also financially. So it took us 8 or 9 months to find a place, and then the assets themselves. We bought our equipment from a small company in upstart in Boise, Idaho. We wanted to buy American. When I went out I designed what I wanted. Then I went out for proposals. I got 16 proposals internationally. So I had a number from Europe, obviously Germany, but also Hungary, Italy, the UK. I had proposals from the US, from Canada, and a couple from China, just to see what the low end of the spectrum is. And I picked the guys in Boise, Corson, because I liked their equipment. So unfortunately, it just took significantly longer for them to get the equipment to us. It took, we were in our 12th month.
So equipment gets delivered. Joe, you're going to interject there?
Yeah, basically it was 5 months longer than they anticipated delivery.
It was 8 months longer.
8 months? Okay.
Yeah, they had said 16 to 20 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
It was 8 months longer. It was significant difference.
So here you've acquired the building space, and you're just kind of biting your time.
Yeah, when we negotiated a contract, and our landlord here is terrific, but when we negotiated a contract, we had X months of free, just to kind of help us get started to do our build out. And of course, then that time kind of came and went. And then we started paying the bills. And so we paid for a while without being able to produce the product and sell the product. What I did is, I'm fortunate because I'm very handy. So I can do pretty much any trade. So I did virtually all of the work back there myself. We did have some tradesmen, obviously, to put up the high walls. I don't have that kind of equipment. The electric, of course, because of insurance purposes, I can do electric, but you don't want to mess around there, and I'm not a licensed electrician. But everything else, the piping, the design, the rigging, etc., my brothers came in and helped us with the setting of the equipment.
So you gave them pizza and free gin vodka when you were done. That was the promise.
When we were done. Yeah, when we were done, it was they got futures, if you will, on the spirits.
Yeah.
So the equipment finally comes. What's it like that first day when you start to get things going? Well,
it was a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of excitement. I mean, I had envisioned what I wanted. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm extremely detail-oriented, extremely detail-oriented. So I had designed everything that I wanted, knowing how I would use it exactly. And so when the equipment came, I wanted to get it out of the 53-footer, get it into the facility, and check it out as quickly as I could.
Yeah, you're like a kid. You're like a kid on Christmas, right? I mean,
yeah.
Get it going. Put the batteries in, run it around, right?
Yeah. And it was, I'm not going to lie to you, it was a ton of work because we didn't hire labor to help us with any of this. I mean, we did everything ourselves. So
yeah, it was a full day just to unload the 53-footer to get that stuff in here.
Yeah,
it wasn't easy.
Yeah, and then it was around 2 weeks to get everything set because of the configuration of the equipment. So
I have a question. I mean, as you're talking about the configuration and getting set up, is there certain zoning or approvals that somebody has to come in before you can start to do it? It's just so in that industry, there's not.
Yeah, for the equipment, in terms of the zoning in the local municipalities, it's kind of a black box, and that's the way they want it. That's our responsibility, and we incur any risk therein. They're more concerned with the more traditional issues around zoning. So, of course, we had all the necessary inspections, and we went through all that process, which was quite lengthy, actually, to do that. But no, they don't care about the equipment. Okay. They don't care about the equipment.
So it's just a matter that once something starts coming off the still, they want to make sure that everything's taken care of.
It's a different municipality because it's spirits, and spirits are very heavily regulated, really only just behind pharmaceuticals. We have to answer to a number of levels of governmental bodies. Right. The feds, obviously, for taxes for the most part, but also the feds to make sure that we're doing everything right. And the federal government, they have at the end of the day, they can come in and audit us, for instance, to make sure that, we're doing everything that, for instance, labeling. It's critically important.
Labeling's very critical, you're right.
And they oversee that as well, and plus the taxes. The state of Pennsylvania has been terrific. They are a control state, one of 18, but they've been really, just terrific. I can't say enough about the state of Pennsylvania. And I honestly think, in everything that I read and hear, that the state of Pennsylvania is really number one in the country out of the 50 states in terms of their position on this industry, the craft spirits industry. They've done a lot. They've done a lot for this industry, and that's why you're seeing businesses like ours in the state of Pennsylvania popping up.
So what was the first spirit that you produced on the still? What was the first
Rye
one?
whiskey.
Rye whiskey.
Rye whiskey. I love personally rye whiskey.
Okay.
And I thought that it was perfect because rye was, for all intents and purposes, first made in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It was the true Pennsylvania spirit, especially during the colonial times, the pre-colonial times, the colonial times. Obviously, because rye is grown in the more northern regions of the world, it's a ubiquitous grain. Certainly was in Pennsylvania, and so they were making rye whiskey, and I wanted to make rye. So I did. I made my first batch in May of last year.
Yeah, May of 2018.
Yeah.
Yep.
May of 18.
So to highlight, where do you fit in? You are the newest,
I think we're
or the
third
youngest,
in Chester County.
but you're the youngest distillery right now in Pennsylvania, or do you have any idea where that fits?
No, I think there's one or two that are younger than us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm told there's a small kind of a nano distillery in the southern part of the county, down towards kind of south of Kennett.
Okay.
Down that way towards the Delaware line. I forget the name of them.
I heard the name of it, but I don't remember it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is one that's very recently opened
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and it's like a nano. It's a very small, very, very small. And Eight Oaks was a little earlier than us, a true farm to bottle
Right.
distillery.
But and I will say that you're not open a year yet, and you
about 6-7 months.
Yeah,
right
I
in that
mean,
vicinity.
and what you're producing is of significantly high quality,
Oh, thank you.
exceptional
Appreciate
spirits,
that. Yeah.
and that was one of the things that for my first visit here that resonated right away. That you said, Rich, you have a strong attention to detail, and I would say that is explained in what's coming out of your bottle,
Appreciate that.
because you didn't rush to put something in to
No.
get the doors open.
No.
You really took your time and said,
That's right.
if I'm going to put this and my name on it for both of you,
Yeah.
it needed to be
Yeah.
the quality level that you expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head, Rich. You can rush. There's a lot of shortcuts that you can make, for sure. At the end of the day, I don't think that's what the customers that care about what we are doing.
Right.
That's not what they want.
And I think when you represent the craft spirit industry, when you have people that don't know anything about what you're doing, and this is new to them, and they show up at your door,
Right.
Having a high quality product that they've really never had before,
Right.
because really what you're producing is a significantly high quality spirit, but what they've had is more of the quote unquote mass produced,
Sure, of course.
mass advertised product.
Yeah.
So you're really representing an industry that a lot of people don't have a knowledge about,
No.
and they're really new to it. So I think that's great too.
Yeah, no, that's right, and so part of it is education, for sure, and in this business, in the craft spirits business, you can draw pretty much a direct analogy or comparison to the craft beer business.